big ones is avoiding any types of foods that have caffeine and caffeine itself. So be careful of even things like teas. A lot of people may like to have tea at night. Make sure it's decaffeinated tea if you're going to have tea. Obviously, coffee has caffeine in it. Even decaf still has some level of caffeine. Certain foods have caffeine. We'll go through a few of those. So on average, you don't want to have this anytime after 2, because what caffeine does is it turns off the part of your brain that says you're tired. It doesn't actually give you energy. It just tells your brain that you're not tired, is how caffeine actually works. You want to avoid foods that have what's called histamine. So I'll go through what these foods are. Histamine keeps you awake because your body has to work through it. So if you've ever woken up in the middle of the night, a lot of times that's what's called a histamine dump. And that comes from foods you may have eaten before you went to bed. So here's some of the common histamine-rich foods. Fermented products. Any kind of fermented products has bacteria. So bacteria is not necessarily bad for you. Your body uses a lot of bacteria. But when you have bacteria, it increases histamine. And then what happens is your body's having to go through that, and it can wake you up. So this would be alcohol. All alcohol is fermented. This could be leftover foods, or foods that were left out for a period of time, because a lot of times some bacteria can build, and they're not enough to make you sick, but enough to create a histamine reaction. Overripe foods typically have more bacteria. It's like a really ripe fruit or something like that. Also, the sugar from the fructose is another thing that'll keep you awake. Nuts and seeds have lectins. Vinegar, sweetened beverages, processed meats, all these have these histamine reactions. Yeast, that's also fermented. Sauerkraut, that's fermented. Tofu and soy sauce is fermented most of the time. Tofu at night. Cheese is aged and many times fermented. Mushrooms, chocolate actually contains some levels of caffeine and also what's called tyramine. These things can keep you awake. Smoked meats, fish, pepperonis, things like that. And you're like, oh, there goes my dinner. Exactly. But these things, taken within a few hours of sleep, can actually affect your sleep cycles. This is important. It's also going to raise your heart rate because your body's having to digest them and working harder. It's going to raise your body temperature. So if your body temperature goes up, if your heart rate goes up, you're getting less quality sleep.